Hi, welcome to day 5 of the Magic is Real Manifesting Challenge. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you're enjoying this challenge. Let me know below how it's going for you. And if you have any thoughts or insights you'd like to share, just let me know you're here and participating. We're in this together. So today I am going to talk about doubts when it comes to manifesting. Manifesting does sound a little crazy, a little woo-woo to some. And I admit that sometimes I have my own struggles with it, and there are little things about the way that people teach manifesting that I'm not sure I am completely in alignment with. So I think you have to kind of make it your own. But one thing I know is that as much as even I have doubts sometimes, and I have doubts about a lot of this metaphysical stuff, and I'm a medium and I talk to dead people and I give professional readings, and sometimes I even sometimes start to slip out of a little bit of faith. And so sometimes we just need that can be a really big block to us. So, what I would love for you to do is to write down, contemplate, write down. Maybe it'll come to you quickly, maybe it'll take some time. But if you have doubts about manifesting, or even if you don't know that you do, but you're kind of like, yeah, I need a little bit of a boost when it comes to my faith in this process, realize that you were always manifesting. You've always been manifesting even before you knew what manifesting was. And so what I do is I go back to a time when I realize, oh my goodness, I manifested that. So write down some things that you unconsciously or consciously manifested that actually ended up happening. So I'll give you my example because I love this. It's just something that I find so fascinating. As a kid, I was fascinated with movies, behind the scenes. I never thought I would be an actor because I had a birthmark on my face and thought, oh, well, I wouldn't be hired to do any kind of work like that. I was cripplingly anxious and quiet and didn't speak for a few years, believe it or not. And I was just sort of paralyzed with insecurity. So I didn't think I was worthy of becoming an actor, but had my walls postered with Hollywood, Marilyn Monroe. And at the time we lived in Connecticut. So I would read all the entertainment magazines. I would watch all the behind the scenes on HBO. I wanted to know how movies were made. For my 13th, I think, birthday, my dad took me to Universal Studios. And it was just like, I just knew that I was like, this is what I want to know more about. How did they do that effect in that movie? Or how did they cast it? Or so I go to, we ended up moving to California, which had nothing. It was just my dad got transferred there right after I graduated from high school. And so I was just living a normal life, working day jobs, and I started to get really depressed. So I signed up for acting classes as an outlet, not thinking it would lead to anything, just something creative to throw myself into. Started taking voiceover classes, on camera classes. Before you know it, I had an agent and I was getting, offers from agents to do this work. And that's another thing. I mean, I didn't think I was ever going to be good enough or pretty enough or any of that to do this for a living. But there was something in me that I was an actor. Like I just knew that I was drawn to that. So I ended up living in LA. But also, I was married. And when we were married, I just remember thinking there has to be more to life than this. I so one night we're like, we have to spice this relationship up. It had just become so banal, and we were just going out to dinner with our couple friends, and it was like same old, same old. And I said, can we just try to go out? And so we went to see my friend from childhood, Julian Coriel, who's an amazing musician. Check him out. And so he was doing a show. So we went down to this music venue, and there was this table full of all of these people who were like hugging each other, and they all knew one another. And I said to my husband, I want that. I want to have a group of friends where we all get together and it's a big community. And he's like, yeah, well, that's not going to happen because that's what happens in college. We're adults now. So that's a story, right? That he's telling me like, yeah, those days are over. We're just now going to be this boring couple. And I know that's not what he was saying, but that's sort of this pain sunk into my soul. And I was like, I'm sad. So that happened. And then we kept trying to spice things up by let's go out on a date, but it was like, but we're just sitting here in a corner, like not talking to each other. Anyway, cut to we get divorced, and I go to Whole Foods, and there's this guy handing out flyers, and he's like, hey, sign up for Greenpeace or whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, I listen to my music, take my album. He's like, you should come to my show. And so I take it. It's Mitchell Schaefer. I'm going to give him a shout out here. And we became friends. And when I looked him up on MySpace, I saw that no, 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 I didn't look him up on MySpace. I was on MySpace and you could put your interests on there. And one of my interests was dreams. So I clicked on dreams and it would show you all the people in your community who also put dreams. Mitchell was one of them. That's how we reconnected. So then he's like, you should come to my show. Well, I ended up becoming friends with him. And then he's like, I'm quitting my job at this music venue. We need someone to work the door, or like, can you sub for me? Not quitting. And I said, sure. So I go to sub. And that night, the door guy said, I'm quitting this job. Do you want to take my place? So I started working the door at this music venue. I have chills about it. Before long, I knew everyone in the community. And then eventually I became a music booker there. And then one night I walked into this amazing music venue in LA, Hotel Cafe, my home away from home. And I walk in and like, I don't know how, I might be exaggerating, but it was something like 50 people that night were like, Shannon, what's up? And we all knew each other and we were all hugging. And suddenly I was like, oh my God, this is what I was manifesting. But I didn't know about manifestation. I wasn't doing rituals or lighting candles. I just kept saying, I want that. I want that. That's what I feel drawn to. You could argue that maybe it was my destiny. And so maybe it's not a manifestation as much as I just saw it in my mind's eye as that's my future. But I knew this is what I want, but I didn't plan to do it. It just fell into my lap. And then I became a booker. And then the whole music scene became my scene. And then I became friends with all the singer-songwriters. And we formed this amazing community, some of the best years of my life. And I looked at it and I was like, full circle. I'm living. Also, I got divorced and I could not find an apartment. Everything was too expensive, still is. And I found this little studio apartment and this landlord who was willing to gift me with a discount and just hook me up with a home because he just was a nice guy. And I realized where I was living was right across the street from the hotel where my dad and I had stayed when we went to Hollywood, near Universal Studios, and everything was sort of coming full circle, right down the street from the sushi place where he and I ate when I was 13 years old. And suddenly I realized, oh my God, I'm supposed to be here. It was like I didn't seek out that neighborhood, but I realized, oh my God, this is that neighborhood. And so it all came full circle, and it turned out that that music community became a vital part of my life. I ended up working in casting behind the scenes. I ended up being a casting assistant. I ended up becoming a commercial actor and a voiceover actor. None of this was planned. People are like, did you go to Hollywood to become an actor? I say, no, I moved to Hollywood and became an actor because that's what you do when you're there. So that's sort of a long story, but to illustrate how sometimes you're just like, you don't even intentionally set out. Like some people do. Some people are like, I want to be a doctor. I'm going to med school. For me, I'm just like, I know I want something more. I feel this actor in me. I feel I want this music community. And unintentionally, I created that, but also it's that thing of follow your bliss, right? So you just keep going towards. So in manifestation, it's the same thing. We're putting our eye on something intentionally and we're saying, I'm going towards that. So everything I do is towards that, but I'm also implanting in my mind the idea, this is my reality. This is what I'm creating. This is going to happen. This is happening. So when you manifest, you don't want to say, I will be rich. I will work as a doctor. You'll say, I am so grateful that I am a doctor now. I am so grateful that I am making lots of money. I'm so grateful that I'm an actor. And you just really try to put it in the present tense. Remember, time is an illusion. So feel it real. I am the best actor. Uh, I am an abundant creator, whatever it is. So, but a lot of it is also sort of having allowing yourself to have faith that manifesting works, because that's the tricky part, is when things don't happen right away, you start to question, maybe I'm just delusional. Maybe I'm just imagining this. Maybe I'm just wanting this. Nope. Doesn't matter. Stop. Create a new story right then and there. I am a powerful manifester. I am a soul. I am made of stardust. How can I not be a powerful creator? So the exercise that I have for you is to think of a time or think of a place where you are in your life now and remember what got you here. What led you to where you are now? Um, whatever it is, you might be working as a counselor and you're like, when I was a kid, I was always drawn to this and I was thinking about helping people, or I was look at it, look at the trajectory, look at the pattern. It all tends to come full circle where you're like, oh my gosh, I created this. And I didn't even really necessarily try to do it. So imagine what you can do when you put your actual focus on something. Yes, it does take some human effort. Like I said, if you want to be a doctor, well, you're not just going to become a doctor by sitting in your room. You're going to go, how do I get to medical school? But you might say, well, I can't afford medical school. Doesn't matter. Circumstances don't matter. What I'm manifesting for is I have the money to put myself through medical school. I don't know how it happens. I give this up to you. So that's one part of the manifestation exercise for today, is writing that down. And the second part of it, in terms of eradicating the fear, the doubt, is an exercise which can be really helpful in proving to ourselves that manifesting is real. So this is an exercise where you will put out to the universe, you might call it God, your spirit guides, Jesus, ascended masters. I talk to all of them. And I just say, show me a sign that you've heard my request and that you are on the case. So I'll give you an example. I said, spirit guide, show me a rainbow to show me that I'm on the right path. And just a few minutes later, I look up and it's not a rainbow across the sky, but there's this cluster of clouds, and right in the middle there's this circle of rainbow. And I was like, I literally just asked for that sign. So you might say, show me a purple pig. Let it go. Don't look for the purple pig all day. Just kind of go, be aware and receive. It may not happen that day, but show me a sign. So recently I was driving for Amazon Flex. I said to my friend in spirit, Derek, show me a sign. Show me a sign. And I dropped off my package. I hit delivered and it said, next stop, 1111 Shangri-La Drive. Chills. 1111, highly spiritual number, alignment, angels watching over you, soulmates, perfection, symmetry. You're on the right path. We got you. Second of all, Shangri-La. When I last saw my friend before he passed, he said to me, I haven't been this happy in a long time. This place where he had moved to our friend's farm in Virginia is Shangri-La. Chills. So, and another time in the same week, I said, show me a sign. And he showed me, and a minute later, a truck drove by with his last name on it. So ask for a specific sign. So I would choose something that's not common, like, if you say a butterfly, butterflies are pretty common. You could do that, whatever feels right to you, but it's kind of fun to see if I pick something really esoteric, like, um, like I said, like a purple pig, and then all of a sudden you notice there it is. So again, don't search for it, kind of let it go, put it out to the universe. You can say it in the form of a prayer or just say, please show me I'm on the right path, angels. Show me this particular sign in the way that's in my highest and best good and in the way that you choose to show it to me. And pick some sort of weird, random thing that you wouldn't happen upon all the time. Let me know how it goes. It's pretty amazing when you find out that that is validation. So try it. So these are two exercises to restore your faith, to keep your faith going. Even just me doing this manifestation challenge is that. It's me erasing any doubt because we're doing this together. And when I hear from you that it's working for you, sometimes that's easier than believing yourself. Sometimes you need to hear it from someone else. Even as a medium, I sometimes go to mediums myself because I can sense things, but it really helps if it's somebody else saying, I'm validating this for you too. So you're not crazy. This is real. Let me know how it goes. This is a really fun one. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow.